Okay, we're just outside the candidates forum, and could you introduce yourself to my readers?
My name is Jeffery Meek.
And Jeffrey, what do you do?
I work for a trucking conglomerate company.
All right, now I understand you've been involved in politics in this state for a decade, from the Gore campaign in 2000 on to an important race for Senate in 2008. You've been looking at the Georgia 4 race. What do you see?
I see probably a change in leadership in the 4th Congressional District.
Now, in terms of a change, do you mean a change in terms of the Democratic nomination, change Republican to Democrat, or what dynamics are you seeing right now?
I see the incumbent very vulnerable, both in the Democrat and if he was to win, also to a Republican challenger.
All right, this is Hank Johnson we're talking about. What makes him vulnerable this time?
This time I think the issue is more or less being stable. There's some health questions that were raised, and during his speeches he has shown that to kind of not be there. There are some health issues that he's also shown, and I just think that being an incumbent is also an issue.
Now, there are two other Democratic challengers, Mr. Parker, and I must admit I'm having a brain freeze. I forget the lady's name.
The two Democratic challengers is Vernon Jones and Connie Stokes.
I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Of Mr. Jones and Mr. Stokes, which one would you say has the best chance of unseating?
Again, there's kind of depending if Ms. Stokes can get her base out, which she is strong with, she can defeat in a non-runoff. If it does come to a runoff and she is not in that runoff, Vernon Jones could be Hank Johnson.
Now, on the Republican side, there are 4 candidates: an African American, a woman who I'm here to cover, Hispanic, and I don't know the 4th candidate. Now, of the 4, what do you see happening there?
Of the 4 challengers, I see Ms. Carter the strongest. The other 2 have issues. The other one just does not have the financial and the support.
All right, so you're seeing a Carter race on the Republican side. Do you think that Liz has a chance of beating the Democratic nominee, whoever it happens to be?
Yes.
Now, that contradicts something I was told by a newspaper person who's been covering this county for 15 years. What makes you decide that she has a chance when others say, I mean, this is a Democratic district, just can't happen?
Again, the dependence on who runs the runoff. If Vernon Jones wins, you more or less say she wins the nomination, because Vernon Jones is more repeated throughout the 4th Congressional District. If it's Hank Johnson, again, part of the southern part of the 4th is not totally Democrat. It is a Republican. It just happened to kind of slide Republican. It's on the borderline of both.
All right. Now, I'd also like to ask you, since we're here covering a forum in the 7th District, we have 8 Republican candidates. Is there one that you have a feel has the best shot for the nomination?
Mr. Klaas.
And why would that be?
He has the organizational, he has the financial backing. I do think that in what I've heard in the forum, he has presented the issues directly. He has not attacked other candidates. He's plain spoken, and I think that he just has the stigma to win it.
Now, on the Democratic side, who's running on the Democratic side?
Doug Hetman.
And does Mr. Hetman have a shot against the Republican nominee?
Well, again,
and I'm putting you on the spot here as you're in a position with the party. What would he have to do to win as a Democrat?
He would have to actually get outside the Peachtree Quarters area. He does not do that. Again, unfortunately, Mr. Hetman is not a really true Democrat. He's a Republican who's running as a Democrat because he's just not able to get in there. He ran as a Democrat in 2008. He lost. He tried to get back in with the Republican Party, and they more or less rejected him. And as far as I know, he was a Republican right before he registered as a Democrat.
Now, I have two other questions I want to ask. First, here in Georgia, county offices have an awful lot more power than up in Massachusetts, where I'm from. Has this always been the case, and why is that the case here?
As speaking with DeKalb County, because it is a very unique system of government in the state of Georgia, its government was formed by an act of the General Assembly. The county commissioners, before last year, the CEO set the agendas, and more or less was the executive and set the agendas. The voters in DeKalb County turned that the county commissioners now, but again, the county, every aspect of the county is run by the county. As I don't know how the system is in Massachusetts, but it is again, I'm speaking of DeKalb County.
Now, one final thing. In my interviews with voters in Lithonia, I always pronounce it wrong, I've noticed, and I've been talking to mostly black Democrats, in terms of positions, they seem to correspond to Liz Carter, but when they hear the word Republican, it's as if someone turns a switch on. That being the case, can Ms. Carter sell her positions rather than her party?
I think that if Ms. Carter can tell them that she wants to fully represent the people in the 4th Congressional District, whether you be in the South Part or in the North Part, her aspects of tax cuts and business cuts could more or less, they probably could ever again, there's some issues with Hank Johnson's that the people in Lithonia have with his help.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time.
Okay.